Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second round of tonight's doubleheader. Tonight we have Phantom Pals with Lee and Nick. I actually had an opportunity to team up with them a while back at the Masonic Lodge, so we'll talk a little bit about that and just things in general tonight. So let's bring on Lee and Nick. Hey, Lee. Nick, how you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
Yeah, we're live. We're live. Just making sure everybody's mic's working and everything. So I know we've talked a little bit last couple months, me and Lee has, about some stuff that's went on as well. And I know we together did an investigation at the Masonic Lodge in Keysburg a while back. What did you think about that investigation we did there that night?
Well, we had a lot of individuals there. Some experienced, some just along for the ride. My husband joined, and I think you got to chatting with him a lot because he had Masonic history.
Oh, yeah. I definitely had a really good conversation with your husband. That was definitely an interesting talk.
And then for me personally, I didn't have a whole lot going on that night. I think you probably got more than I did. But I don't know if we really investigated together very often, or if I was just kind of hanging out in the background while you were doing stuff. But I think you got a lot more than I did. But I was interested to hear because I heard you went back. So I'm interested to hear what was your take the second time around?
Yeah, I did. I actually got to join forces with Eternal Paranormal and Haunted Happy Hour, and they had an open house there that night. We had probably 20 people there, and we divided into 3 groups, and we split up, and me and Alicia McFadden from Eternal Paranormal led one group, and we took them and went upstairs, and we got a little bit of activity up there with tripwire lights, that you lay on the ground. They actually lit up. We actually got some SLS because they have that new SLS cameras. It's like three grand. It's really nice and picks up thermo imaging and everything. And got some spirits dancing with one of our guests that was there. And got a few EVPs, and we did some Estes there. It was a pretty lively night there compared to the very first time when we were all there. So it was definitely interesting.
Okay.
So I even had an opportunity to do some energy work with one of the guests there. That it was her birthday, and it actually showed on the thermal imaging the energy transfer in between the both of us. So that was really cool, and I actually got that on a video saved on a hard drive. And I think if you look up Haunted Happy Hour Paranormal, I think it's still up on their site because they're the one who recorded that section that night. Because I went live, Haunted Happy Hour went live, and Eternal Paranormal went live. So on all 3 locations, you could see bits and pieces of what happened that night. So it was definitely an interesting night. So,
awesome. I just wrote it down so I can remember to go look back and look at that.
Yeah. And it was definitely interesting. I remember when we were down in the basement when I teamed up with you guys, and Nick was getting some readings out of the crawl space area in the basement that he went into with the dead man's bell. And that's the first opportunity I actually seen one of those dead man bell work that night. And ever since then, I actually like those.
It's like our favorite toy.
We actually had one of those at the Haunted or Sanctum of Souls last night that actually worked really good too. I'm definitely gonna. I still haven't got one yet, but I'm definitely gonna get one here before long because I think they're pretty cool. So
I think Nick just got the upgraded one.
Mhm.
Bell that we're talking about.
Hmm?
Bell that
You're
or did you get
Yeah,
the
I just ordered a new one.
like an
You know,
upgrade?
they have a fancier base and a bigger turn knob to make it easier to control the sensitivity.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that would be
Yeah.
fun to hang out with.
right. So
We've actually got really good use out of the bell when we went to the Asher Walton house. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I have heard of that. I
We went
know.
there to,
I know Pam Harris is wanting to go to that really bad.
yeah. Oh, I'm definitely going back. For sure. We were there for a weekend. We did a 2-night there as well. And we had some amazing feedback with the bell. Found the first night not much happened. It was a very quiet night, except for the fact that when we kind of closed the night up and it was about 2 a.m. and we're like, all right, we're just gonna go to bed because like just nothing is really happening. I had started falling asleep, which takes me longer because us women, we take like an hour to go to sleep. And Nick was already like out. And I heard, and it's on my recorder, this loud crash from the hallway. And I like shot up in bed. I'm like, did you hear that? And I remember him just kind of going, did you hear something? And he went right back to sleep. And I was like, yes, I heard something. Looked for whatever fell, whatever that crash was. Nothing. There was no crash anywhere. Like nothing fell. There was nothing that did fall over. But it's definitely on my recorder. You can hear it plain as day. That something sounded like it fell to the ground. Just this loud crash. But the next night, we did a live, and we were getting a lot of interaction with the bell and the housekeeper. We were told that kids like to play, and remember asking if I could, I had some candy with me, and I had asked if I could possibly bring the kids out and play, and they can have some candy. And the housekeeper gave a very strong response on the bell as a no, I cannot.
Wow.
Yes, but we were having a good conversation with her.
When you heard that crash and you went back and you looked around and you didn't find anything, what was actually your reaction to not finding nothing but hearing a big bang?
I want to say it was very. It irked me a little bit because I
Not
want to know
finding
what it
something
is that
toppled.
fell.
Yeah, not finding something toppled over, but
Nothing toppled
funny.
over. There was nothing. I was kind of like, what? What was that? Nothing was falling over. Now it was in the area of where the nursery was, which was in the room next to where we were. And the room is kind of like adjoining, so you can enter the nursery through the master bedroom.
Mhm.
And we were in the master bedroom. And that nursery, from what I was told, had a possible child death in it.
Oh,
But you can access the nursery through a door in the hallway as well. And that's the door that the housekeeper or oh, hi puppy. That was the door that the housekeeper would use to go access the children in the nursery so they're not going through the master bedroom.
right.
And that's exactly where my recorder was, and that's where the crash came from. And there was nothing toppled, nothing crashed. It was I want to know what fell, and when you don't find something falling, you're kind of like, so what was that? Did we catch time lapse? What happened there?
Right. I mean, yeah, it's kind of disappointing that you don't find anything that fell, but then it's also catching your attention as like, wait, something happened. It's still unexplained. What exactly was it? And then you start digging into it, like you said, looking around and trying to find it, and you're still not finding an answer for it. So, yeah, those are the ones that I like to actually sit and dig into. It's got you baffled. It's like, okay, why did we hear this sound? And there's nothing fallen over or tipped over, like you said. It's crazy.
Yep.
I was asleep. I don't know.
Yeah.
You slept through
He slept right through that.
Didn't phase me.
it?
I mean, it woke me. I mean, of course, I wasn't in a dead sleep yet. I was still dozing, but it had me just shoot right up, and I'm waking him up, and he's like, "Did you hear something?" And he went right back to sleep. So I don't even know if he remembers me waking him up or not.
I don't even remember her waking me up. So
So he might have seen it and heard it in his dream and not even realize it.
I don't know.
But listen to it on the recorder the next day. I'm like, see, it's there. You can hear it. And then you can hear my voice kind of muffled in the background just because I knew I was talking to him to tell him to wake up.
Right? Yeah. That's funny. I know that we were at Chillicothe at the 1876 house, and we're from my old team. We actually stayed there we were one of the first teams to stay there overnight. And one of the guys put a little toy ball on the floor. Well, I slept through it. The lead slept through it. One of our teammates got hit in the head with it, so he woke up. And then they actually caught it on camera rolling across the floor.
Oh, wow.
Because we left the cameras running during the time we were there when we were sleeping, because we wanted to see what was going to happen if we actually did fall asleep and what would happen around us. Because we would sit at the dining room table in that house and set the REM pod on the kitchen table and communicate with the family members there. Okay. And it was actually pretty cool being there. And that's at the end of Chillicothe at the Three Sisters Park. They have that place. That's definitely a place you should check out.
What is it?
Three Sisters Park. It's the 1870 or 1876 house. It's one of the old houses. They actually transported it from another location to that location. So it's really cool. But yeah, my old team was the first team that actually got to stay in that house overnight. And we did quite a few investigations there. We were actually upstairs and you could hear somebody humming a lullaby upstairs. And then when you look over to the window area, it's like maybe a small closet type area, but they had a rocking chair there. And that rocking chair, he was doing this next to the window that was there.
Wow.
It's faintly moving. And it was really cool seeing that. We also got some of one of the doors. I think I still got the video to that. One of the doors to the room was sitting there just opening on its own. And it would just stay there for a while. And then all of a sudden it just moved back on its own.
I would love to see that. And do you guys do like any of the try doing any like the debunking and yourselves and stuff?
I weigh about 235 pounds, and I actually jumped up and down on the floor, and that door wouldn't move. So I know it wasn't the floor joists in the floor at the time that made it move. And we had the camera up there by itself when it was doing it. So no breeze was coming through from any direction. It wasn't creating a vacuum of any type, but that door actually just kind of opened on its own, sat there for a while, and then it closed just like normal.
Wow. Okay.
So, but yeah, that house is really cool. So if you ever get a chance to go down there, definitely check out that one. But yeah, like I said, that's a good place. Even if you get a chance to go to Bartonville to the Aura, if you get a chance to go there, they actually have a haunted house in a haunted house. So right now they're actually doing a haunted house right now.
Sure.
You can go through, but we actually got EVPs out of there during regular season.
Where is that again?
Bartonville, the Aura. It's called the Aura Haunted House. It was part of Zeller's hospitals.
Okay.
It had tuberculosis ward and everything there. That was actually pretty cool.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So.
Yeah, we've been planning our trips around for next year. So far this year, we've got an investigation this
Hey,
weekend.
Gwen.
Hi, Gwen.
And Laura's in the house as well. She was just on the show before you guys.
Oh, yes. I remember seeing her. I was going to say I recognize the name.
Yeah.
We got Berlin this weekend, the Berlin Tannery in Wisconsin. That's our investigation to get back into investigating. We haven't investigated since like May now, right, Nick? Was May? I think it was the last one.
Somewhere around there.
We were at the Edinburgh Manor with Small Town Paranormal and our friend Darren. So we all got together and did an investigation there for the weekend. Got some great stuff, especially during an Estes method. My name was said quite a few times. Nick wasn't feeling well, and he was in the guest room or in the guest house sleeping. And they were getting messages through with saying my name, and then it said his name. And there was one message that came through that said check on him. So I thought that was really cool. I didn't get a chance to go check on him because he had already gotten up and was on his way back over. So he showed up. We were down in the basement at the time. He came just a few minutes later, and we were telling him, I'm like, my name was coming through, your name was coming through, and I was told to check on you.
Right. I know, like I said, you guys have been on the show before, but I don't think we've dug into this question. And I don't think I really had an opportunity to ask you when we were down in Keysburg. Nick, are you kind of empathic? Is some of the energy sometimes affect you when you go into certain locations?
Yeah, but when I haven't done it for a while, it takes a while to get it back.
Right. And it does. I do believe that as well. Do you have Jericho planned? Gwen asked.
Yes,
Yeah,
December 5th. Yep.
December 5th. That ought to be cool too.
Yeah, I was there a number of years ago with my past team. We went up there. It was actually my very first investigation that I've done ever in Wisconsin, was actually Jericho. At the time, it was owned by some different owners. And I would say I'm excited more for this one because when we went, it was just a really bad night. It was March, and it was about 40 degrees in the convent. The school was freezing cold. There was no heat. We pretty much just froze all night. And we went there knowing that there wasn't a lot of heat. They did say that there was going to be like one little heater that could work, but it wasn't working. So we did as much as we could in the school before we all pretty much froze. Then we went to the convent and did as much as we could there. And we froze. And we only made it to like 4 a.m. And then we were like, you know what? We're packing up. We're freezing. Like, we can't do this anymore. So I think it wasn't the best first investigation. But we did get an EVP that night of a little girl yelling down in the basement of the convent. And it sounded like it was coming through a tunnel that like went to the school. There was like this little tunnel, like crawl space tunnel thing.
Right.
And we heard a little girl yell from there. And we heard it clear. We were actually upstairs in the convent when we heard it, and we all went running to the basement. But we did have that on our recorders. That was the only major thing that really happened. But again, we were too cold to really do much.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to go back and get some more information, get more.
I think I would rather be cold than getting bit by mosquitoes like we was down at the
my gosh.
Because that night we got swarmed.
We did. It was hot. and mosquito-y. That was a rough night.
Because I actually planned on staying there that whole night, and then Jamie Lynn come back to, just to double check on her, and all of a sudden we were just standing there watching, and we just seen that swarm of mosquitoes flying in, and I'm like, oh no, man, I get a bit up. I was like, I'm just gonna pack her for tonight and head out, and but the last time, not one mosquito. It was nice in there. It was great, and we did get quite a bit of activity in there. But yeah, I think I'd rather take the cold over the mosquitoes, for sure.
Okay, I mean, I would too. I think I lasted pretty good until even I froze, and I love cold weather. I'm all about the cold weather.
Right.
But even me, the cold weather lover, even kind of had to call it quits.
Right.
It got rough.
Yeah, definitely sure. So, what is one of the investigations you guys have done that caught your attention the most? That stands out in your head?
Definitely Asher for me.
I'd say the Agin prison. So, that was my most extreme experience, but I could feel Ed's mother protecting him and following us around. I got Ed at one point, and then she took over the conversation, and you could just feel the intensity of her, and that was draining. That was probably the most extreme I've had, so that's the one that stands out.
And I assume you got to actually sit in the cell and use some trigger object that night as well?
Yep. I was actually laying in the bed, and on my spirit chat it said somebody was to my left, and there was only a wall there. So I don't know how anybody was on my left, but I digress on that. And I had a cat ball by Augusta's picture, and whenever I asked a question, that would light up and then shut off. So she was answering every question. Once Ed started talking, she shut him up and took over. And then anybody else we tried to talk to the rest of the night, she took over. She wouldn't let anybody else through.
Why do you think that happens? I've heard a couple other people that's investigated there say the same thing. Why do you think that happens with that?
She's really protective of her son. She doesn't think he... I would call that a mother's love, actually.
Well, in life, she was like that too. Very overbearing. I mean, now with the Netflix thing that came out, everybody's talking about the Agin stuff. I think we did a whole episode on it right when we started. Yeah. He's one of the ones that I've studied pretty intently. But I think, honestly, his mom was like that in life. Very overbearing, protective, and overbearing as a mother in general. So it wouldn't surprise me that in death she would not let him speak. And
do you think, just from you guys' opinion, being an investigator and what you gained from doing the research and being there and etc., do you think the reason why he did the things he did is because his mother was overprotective and then he just went on a kind of rant?
Oh, yeah. He never stood a chance of having a normal life. So that's just the way she raised him and controlled him. He didn't have a chance. He wasn't even allowed to make friends. So, with the strict background that he had and everything with her gone, he was he depended on her.
So maybe, do you think he had a collapse or a mental breakdown in the process before all it happened?
I don't know. But he wasn't right in the head to begin with because of all the stuff that, all the ways she raised him and controlled his life. So
Well, that's what I was.
He didn't know what was right and wrong though either.
Right. Yeah, because that's what I was kind of referring to with the way she would twist and manipulating, that could actually cause a lot of stress and actually have a mental breakdown in the process.
He may have thought what he was doing was right because of the way she talked about the women that he did kill and then digging up the graves. I mean, he didn't know he was doing wrong.
Right.
He went in every time to court naive.
Wow.
And I question that a little bit. We know that Gein's mother, Augusta, isn't the only mother that has ever been like that.
Right.
We hear these stories, and there's probably stories out there we don't even know of, where you just have like this overbearing parent.
Of course.
And you don't hear those guys becoming, the next Ed Gein or the previous Ed Gein. I do think his mother and his dad and his environment all together, the ridicule he had at school, the misinformed information about sexuality from his mother.
Right.
I think you're putting together a perfect storm. So it was not just Augusta, but it was Augusta and it was Augusta and Augusta and. Like there was a lot more ands that came to it that just was this perfect storm. Because I do know that there's a lot of strict parents out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're especially talking about back in the 1800s where things were even more strict.
Right.
And you continue on with that pattern, but they all didn't become killers. And that's not how he began anyways. He began more of just digging up bodies and was interested in things. He didn't become a actual killer until later.
Right.
But I think he did little bits by little bits, and it just built, just as any serial killer does. There's like this little bit that happens, and then a little bit more, and things get more egregious, and then you get to that point, that breaking point. So I think it was Augusta and a lot more of other things, including, I think, even possible some mental retardation at that point, which, now we would say, I forgot the new word for it. It's not retardation anymore. It's intellectual disability.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And he had a lot of ridicule because of his eye. He always had kind of like that drooping eye.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of bullying going on in school for that. Bullying does a lot to somebody, especially at adolescent age with your brain forming. There's a lot that can happen from that.
That's a lot.
I think he was a perfect storm of issues.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of intake, especially when you're getting bullied and constantly tormented just by your peers. That's a lot of pressure in itself. And you actually made it kind of a point. And your thoughts on this. You actually get to a point in your life to make that decision of good and wrong. And you think he got to that point and that's just was so overwhelmed he just went the wrong path?
I don't think he understood what he was doing. And, I definitely agree with Nick on that, where he was very naive in what he was doing, and his world was Augusta. And when that got taken from him, he wanted to rebuild her in any way that he knew how. And that's what he was really ultimately doing. And I don't think he understood the wrongness in that.
So in his mind, you think he thought everything was right in the way he was doing it and rebuilding what he had.
Right. I really question if he really knew that was wrong. But then again, he was seen as insane and sent to the hospital, so the state agreed with that as well.
Huh. That's definitely interesting. I like it when people actually break down, because I know you did your shows and you talked about a lot of things and you actually dug into details and talked about the whole thing on certain people.
Mhm.
And yeah, even when I watched it, I was sitting there listening, how when those people get to that exact frame of mind, when do they actually turn? What was the last thing that possibly could have pushed them over the edge to do some of the things they did? It's just mind blowing.
Mhm.
Because like you said, some people we know that has possessive parents, strict parents, they turn out and some of us got some issues or we have issues or whatever the case may be, but not enough to go over the edge.
Right.
So it's interesting on how the mind works, and I know
Mhm.
you guys really dig into some of the stuff on how that affects people.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. Hopefully, people got to hear the last one we did was on Albert Fish. That was a long 3 episode, I think like almost an hour to an hour and a half each episode. It was long episodes, but Albert is a very long story too.
Right.
And there was just details that you can't miss because it all was part of him. Um, but I think that was our last real big
Mhm.
one that we did. But we did a couple other serial killers. I know
Yeah.
Arlene was in there, or
Eileen.
Eileen.
Yeah.
Yep, Eileen. Edward Rudolph was in there.
Hmm.
Yeah, we did quite a few.
Yeah, because like I said, I remember watching you guys' shows when you were talking about some of them, and I would sit and listen. Like I said, you guys really dig into some details and do the groundwork to try to understand exactly why it was.
Mhm.
I thought that was really cool. So, it gives you a whole new perspective when you try to see it from another view, and then you can relay it to what goes on now, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, you guys, I thought you guys' show was pretty informational when you guys were doing it there for a while. As in the fact of, like I said, digging in and doing the way you did it, and yeah. What's one piece of equipment that you guys love using?
I love the bell. The bell's my best friend.
What about you, Nick?
I mean, the bell's been the most effective, but I mean, I still like going back to the basics of just a cat bell, or I mean, a cat ball. Um, you can't deny that when it doesn't move.
Right.
There's no other force that you can put your cell phone by it; it's not going to go off. You can, and when you say turn that off so I can ask another question, it goes off immediately. That's, I mean, quick reaction.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cat balls have come pretty useful in a lot of people's investigations. Um,
It doesn't take a lot for them to use those. Um, it's the easiest to set out there and also the most cost effective.
mhm. I actually do not own any cat balls.
Really?
I don't. I've got what they call a mini REM pod that I've got, and I have a Tesla coil that I can plug in, a mini Tesla. I've got a voice recorder,
Mhm.
and I've got laser lights, for spots, so you can walk shadow walkers. That if you put laser grids up, we can see them.
Yep.
And a few of my other teammates have got some other stuff, but I kind of keep it a little simple, and I like to know the feeling around it when I go into a place and how I interact with it. And sometimes when I used to be on the old team, I didn't want to know anything about it. I didn't want to know the location. I didn't want to know nothing about it. I wanted to see whatever I came up with if it matched what they come up with. I wanted to compare what I found to what they did. I wanted to have that talk afterwards and say, okay. And I document sometimes when I was going through the investigation. Okay, I came up with this, and then if it matched, then we know we're on the right track. But being a lead of a team, you always got to know some information now of the location to keep your team safe. You don't want to go into some locations or a residence not knowing anything about the people and everything else. So you got to keep your team safe as well. So yeah. I know more than I want to sometimes when I go in, but being a lead, that's your responsibility to keep your team safe. So, but yeah, I like definitely compare finding out after I've been there and see what comes up. And that's always the interest to me and makes it worthwhile, because then if I get something, it's like, oh, and then you find it, it's like it just validates what I felt or what I seen or the reactions I got. So that's kind of the way I like doing things as well.
Right.
But and I look at, when you use REM pods and cat balls and stuff, because some people can't feel that energy. They're not there with you. They're not hearing the things you hear. They're not, etc. So it's kind of like a visual for the people that's not around, that to see that, hey, it's actually there. That's the way I kind of look at that. Like, the dead man spell. And like I said, I'm definitely going to end up getting one of those eventually, because every time I see one of those, I like it. And somebody told me I need to get one of the original old ones, that they have on the tombstones, that goes on the little rocker with the strings. Yeah. Somebody said, you need to find some of those. And I was like, man, that'd be hard to find, but that'd definitely be cool.
Yeah.
So, bucket list. Where's some of the bucket lists you guys would really love to go?
I really want to go to Pennsylvania, but because there's like a few places really close, like Penhurst, and a few of the I can't remember the other two that are kind of close to Penhurst, but or do a trip just all the way through Pennsylvania. That would be kind of cool. But it's just kind of been on my list.
I still think, Penhurst is on there, Trans-Allegheny. That's on one of my lists. We're going to a location on my list this year. And I do have a location on my list for next year. It's been on my list, but it's not a well-known location because it's not open for investigations. However, it will be open for us, and we're going to be going next year. So
that's awesome.
Yes. So I'm very excited for it. It's going to be in Coventry, Connecticut, and we are invited to investigate there. So I am very excited. And when we get out there, the fact that I even get to do this is just throws me. I'm so excited. But we will be going to the Nathan Hale location in Coventry, Connecticut, and checking out that location. It is well-known haunt within Connecticut in the Coventry area there. Security alarms go off pretty often, and police are used to just going out there and having to call our family friend, and she has to come and make them walk through the place with her, knowing that they're not going to find anything. There's been a lot of stories about a light being seen in the attic. There's no electricity up there, so there's no light in the attic, but people have seen the light on in an attic. Just a lot of things are happening in the Nathan Hale homestead there. So I am excited to say that we are allowed to go there and do an investigation.
That's awesome. Is there any overseas locations that actually tempt you guys?
All of them.
If you could actually go. I mean, if you could actually just sink your teeth into one and had the opportunity to go next week, what would be the one
Oh my
overseas one
gosh.
you could go to?
I don't know many overseas, so um,
Oh my gosh. If able to just go there and do an investigation, it would be Tower of London for sure, Hampton Court. Um, Hampton Court was very big in the Tudor era, and so much energy is probably there, especially the energy of Henry's sixth or fifth wife,
Right.
Catherine, who went running down the Great Hall, screaming her head off, which eventually her head did come off. Um, when she learned her fate, she went running to Henry, begging for forgiveness. And it is said that that energy is captured there because it was so tragic and sudden. She was 17 years old and learning she's going to die. So that energy just kind of sat there, and people say you can still hear that scream. Would love to sit there and just listen, do the last walk of Anne Boleyn, all of that. Just, I'm a huge Tudor era nut, and so you can ask me anything, and I'm all about it. So I
That's
probably would
an
go definitely
interesting
to
choice.
England right away.
That's an interesting choice. What about Dracula's Castle, Nick? Wouldn't that interest you?
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be
It's like,
different.
sure.
Yeah, it'd be different.
I think I would have a heyday there if I had an opportunity to go there. I mean, I think that would be interesting with all the stuff that happened there.
I wouldn't need to know a little bit more about it because I have not researched that. So I think I'm just going to have to hit you up on that and tell me the history on all of that.
I think it's actually called Vlad's Castle, Vladimir's Castle, because
Yeah,
he's
Vlad.
yeah,
Oh, Vlad the Impaler.
yeah, because
Yeah.
he's the one that was actually called the true Dracula at that time. Was Vlad.
It's
Yep.
based off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that would definitely be interesting with all the things that happened around that guy, man, because he caused a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So, but yeah, that would be on my bucket list, and I would say probably Ireland would be
Yeah.
another one with the Druids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Ireland, Scotland, some definite history in those castles for sure.
my uncle
In the
actually,
fields.
my uncle before he passed away actually went to Ireland and our family, and he located the castle that's being rebuilt back there. That's in our family, and I'd like to check it out. They were in the process of redoing it when he was there, and that was like 15 years ago or so, 16 years ago, and he brought back the family crest and everything else from back then. So I got stuff from that. So I thought that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That would definitely be interesting because it was
I'd
on
like
my,
to walk around the fields, especially in Scotland, in the Highlands, because that's where England would come over and fight Scottish. And
right.
so we talk about like the Gettysburg fields being very haunted. There's got to be such strong hauntings in fields of Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, with everything going over there, and they had the Scottish Wars going on as well,
Mhm.
you know, like you said, and that would have to be some crazy energy in some of those locations, especially some of those old buildings when you know they've been made out of limestone back then.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, with the energy that would be flowing through those would be crazy.
Absolutely. Just wanted to let you know that my daughter just texted me. She just wanted everybody on the podcast to know. She says hello.
Hello.
Sarah says hello.
I know one thing, Lee. You asked me about before the show. Let me see here. You asked about Annabelle. I showed a little bit. I showed a little bit on the last show. Let's see if I can find some of the pictures that I showed here. So here's one. This is me and Nikki. She's one of my team members. And we're standing in front of Annabelle and then the movie version they had there as well.
Okay.
It was pretty interesting. Like I said, for once in a lifetime to be able to see it,
Yeah.
it was definitely, pretty cool. Also, let's see here if I can find some else here. This one right here. This one was called The Devil's Sword. That was that. If I could actually pack that one up and take it home, I would have.
What's the story with that one?
I got the card on it. I'm gonna have to blow it up and read it a little more, and I'll put a clip on to some of the pictures that I put up and put a little peg in there next to it, what it actually is. Nikki actually got better pictures of it with the cards than I did because some of the card stuff that I was trying to get turned out blurry.
Okay.
But that actually came from the Warren Museum. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the haunted objects they had. Let's see here. This was another. It's kind of a locket type deal. And let's see. I'm kind of scrolling through here and finding some other stuff here. This is a close-up of the Annabelle they used in the movie.
Yep.
So that's the actual prop of Annabelle, right?
Yep. The one they used in the movies, yes.
That is amazing. So how did they get that out of the prop storage from the casting or from the directors?
Well, I'm sure they've had more than one over the years because they've had a couple different movies at Annabelle.
Sure.
So I'm sure they've had a few different versions of her that they actually got a hold of. Let's see here. This one was kind of interesting. The Shadow Doll.
That looks amazing. I want that one.
That was actually pretty cool too. Let's see.
I want it. That looks awesome.
This one was supposedly a vampire casket.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to rotate through here and not mess up and grab the wrong thing here. I'm trying not to get doubles. That was the baboon head, the shrunken baboon head. I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay.
And it said the artifact was used in black witchcraft rituals before being secured by Ed Warren.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Move that one. Let's see. What else do we got here? This one was. We got to see their relatives that was there. They had a couple relatives that was actually there, Ed and Lorraine. That was their poster they had up.
Okay.
I think, I'm trying to find that picture of them. I think it's one of the ones I misplaced before the show. It didn't go into the file that it was supposed to. Let's see. Here's some fertility ones that used in rituals. Let's see here. What else do we got? Trying to not hit the duplicates. That was interesting. That was a fairly tall statue that they took from a location.
What is it?
Some kind of a doll or a statuette of something that used, like I said, in rituals they had. It was interesting.
How tall was it?
It was up there. It was about maybe 4 foot tall.
Okay.
Like I said, I know Nikki got some better pictures with things on the cards that I was actually in the process of downloading before I started the shows tonight. Let's see here. I don't know if I showed that one or not. Yeah, these are some littler items that were different that they had. Let's see, what else do we got?
So if you had a chance, do you think you would get a good night's sleep in the Conjuring house?
Yes.
I'd definitely give it a shot. I would. That's actually one of the things on my bucket list. I'd love to go to.
'Cause I know I'd sleep probably right through everything.
Yeah, you would.
And there's both of them together, the movie one and the real one in the box. So
I definitely wanted to go see her very badly. It's just a really rough time of the year. We try to do a lot of investigations in the fall. And of course, this is band season for most high school bands. And my daughter plays the trumpet in her high school band. So there's a lot of competitions going on right now. And
yeah,
I mean, there'll be haunted place things every year forever. She's going to be a senior next year. And this doesn't last forever. So I did not want to miss any of her competitions.
yeah. I know you guys came from one here just before the show. You said you were at one of the concerts. How'd she do?
They got first place in this competition and kind of swept everything with color guard, visual, music, choreography. They got it all. And she goes to, I'm really bad at football stadiums. Where the Vikings play in Minnesota. She's going to that stadium next weekend for another competition.
That would be really cool.
Yep.
Especially when you get a chance to go to a professional stadium and see how big it actually is and march.
Yeah, we were there. We went there last year too. So it's awesome that they're going again. But she will actually be in the Rose Bowl parade this year.
That's awesome.
With her band. So we'll be heading out to Pasadena, California.
Well, tell her congratulations. Huh? We are at the top of the hour. We got about 7 minutes left, guys. And I know me and you have been talking about something that may happen coming up in the next few weeks. And we're going to team up and we're going to go to a certain location. But we're not going to reveal it just yet. So you're going to have to stay tuned the next few weeks and find out where we are going to team up at on Halloween night.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be awesome.
Yes.
I've heard so much about this place. And like I said, thank you for inviting me. And like I said, we will gonna have this, and we will pop up again here in the next week and drop a line of where we're actually gonna be on Halloween night. So, but it is one of the most haunted places in Illinois, if I recall, right?
Iowa.
Oh yeah, in Iowa. Iowa. I had Illinois on my mind because I've been there all day yesterday. But anyway, but yeah, it's definitely one of the most haunted places in Iowa. So,
very good.
So,
look forward to it.
What do you think overall? What do you think is going to happen in this location without letting the cat out of the bag?
Oh, the veil is going to be so thin. I think we're going to get stuff that I've been hoping to see as an investigator. I think something is going to happen.
Yeah,
for sure.
Everybody that I've talked to, and they said this place is unbelievable. And me and you were talking before the show, and yeah, I think we're gonna have an awesome investigation there for sure.
Yes,
What's,
I'm
what's your
expecting a lot.
What's your thoughts, Nick?
I don't expect anything until it happens. Because
He's so laid back.
I know.
I mean, when you go in, you don't get your expectations too high because we're visiting them, for one. They're not required to interact with us, and they interact with just like us. We interact with who we want to interact with. So I go in with no expectations, and if something happens, great. If nothing happens, I saw a cool place.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I do agree with you, but you know when Lee brought this up to me, and I sat there and thought about it for a second, I was like, all right, yeah, this is one of them. It's on the bucket list, and you know, I teamed up with you guys before, and I think this would be an awesome team up to do. And like I said, you guys are going to have to stay tuned and watch the next couple episodes. And me and Lee and Nicholas will tell you where we're going to be at Halloween night.
Yep.
So, but we're not letting it out of the bag just yet. But we were going to have a pretty cool investigation, I think. And like I said, it's definitely on my bucket list, and I'm looking forward to teaming up with you guys again because, like I said, I got along with you guys great, and we have some of the same methods of doing stuff, and I think it'll be a really cool investigation. So
For sure. Absolutely.
I will say this is a tough place to book. So
yeah, she did mention that earlier.
they
So,
book out.
Yeah.
They're already booked out for the next year. You aren't getting in there at this point for another year.
so like I said, I feel fortunate, you know, when Lee brought it up, and I was like, yeah, on my bucket list. This is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So we'll make the build up to it, and like I said, everybody's got to tune in to find out where we will be on Halloween night.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, guys, and I really appreciate you guys filling in tonight. I had somebody kind of cancel out on me tonight, and he had some family issues come up, and I hope it's the best for him, and all is going well. And yeah, like I said, it'll definitely be interesting that night for sure. And I think you guys are actually going to stay there 2 nights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 2 nights.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Hello, Lori Bragg.
hello, Lori. Yep. So it'll be Halloween Eve and Halloween night. We will be there. So
Yep.
veil on the thinnest, and I'm going there excited, and Nick's going there with no expectation. He's the one that's going to ground me. He keeps me grounded.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really excited. I mean, but like I said, I'm gonna go in there level-headed, kind of like Nick as well. Even though I'm kind of excited, but I'm gonna go in there level-headed like Nick, and I'm sure we're gonna come out with some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I'll be the giddy one. I'll be the one running around, just going hee hee hee.
She'll probably be the first one to scream out of the 3 of us, right?
Probably.
I mean, if I bring a fake spider and throw it at her, definitely.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna run out.
That could happen, Nick. I might stop at the Goodwill store or something to buy.
Oh my gosh. Aw.
So
Teaming up on me.
I can.
You gotta have a little bit of fun when you investigate. You can't be all super serious all the time, but you know you
I
got
know how
be
to make
serious.
it happen quick. If that's
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, guys, and I do really appreciate you guys stopping in tonight and talking with me. And I will get back with you here through the week, and we'll start making little clips to where we're gonna be. So
Awesome.
all righty. I'm going to drop you guys. Well, first of all, where can everybody find you at?
We are on Facebook, and it's Dead Squirrel in the Woods Studio, and that is our main page. Really, we just kind of keep our Facebook page, and I post everything on there, and that's where you find us. Dead Squirrel in the Woods Studio.
It should have the links to our previous videos and everything like that. So
when we go live, it's always on there too, and we'll share it out there, and you can always watch for us.
And definitely the night we investigate together, we will be live on All Access Network television, and we will be on the Eternal X Wolfpack and the YouTube page as well. So we'll have a lot of places we'll be showing where we will be on Halloween night. And like I said, thank you guys for stopping in. I'm going to drop you backstage and close out the show.
All right.
And we will be talking this week and putting some stuff together.
Yeah.
So, all right. Drop you backstage. Definitely go check out Leah and Nick and Phantom Pals. I teamed up with them before. They're great to work with and laid back, and they know their stuff. They really dig into the stuff they do for their investigation as well. And that's one of the things I do like about working with those guys. They are very thorough at what they do. So I am going to close out the show here real quick. Next week, we have Phantasm Paranormal. So definitely tune in, stop in, ask questions. We will answer them live on the show. And I'm going to close out this show tonight as normal. Here, hang on a second. As soon as I find it, from All Access Network Television. Night, everybody. Have a great week. Rest of your night, and we will see you next week.